time to show you some of them. All the talk about Maker Faire and crowdfunding, and even the SCM solution module makes me think of all these great boards we have for people starting out, startup companies or makers or pro makers even. You know, there's boards that have been around for a little while here. The WAN board, which is an IMX6-based module that lets people build something very quickly with Linux or Android. And then for really getting started with microcontrollers, we've got a Teensy board. And this is from a company called PJRC. And they've taken all the Arduino code and really enhanced it to give the feature set of the Kinetis board, make that really stand out. So things like DMA transfers, and they've got great sound libraries as well. So I could play with this all day, but we have Sujata Naide here from our microcontrollers division to talk about a few other boards we have.
Yes, thank you, Ian. I do have a couple of boards I'd like to talk about. First, we have a new customer that's a startup company called S-Kilo, and they are really simplifying the process for developers. This is their board right here that's in my hand, and it provides everything you need to create an IoT solution quickly. And that's really important, as you know, for a lot of companies, especially startups. This board here is based on one of our Kinetis microcontrollers that has a Cortex-M4 core. And it also includes the wireless connectivity. It has an onboard web-based IDE for easy programming.
That's interesting. So that means everything's on board. You don't need to add software. You go to the IDE to write code for it?
Exactly. It also includes the debugging capability. And it runs Squirrel, Arduino, C code, anything that you need, and is great for creating either gateway or end device solutions.
And I understand they have also libraries they've written for our sensors, our sensor fusion.
Yes, that's true. So you can really add all kinds of different functionality onto it.
Excellent.
All right.
And what else?
One example. Here is another example I'd like to talk about. This is the UDO Neo board. And the main processor on this board is our i.MX6 Solo X. This board also includes some of our sensor devices on it. Now, the i.MX6 Solo X is a really interesting device because it has a heterogeneous core architecture. So it has a Cortex-A9 and an M4 core. And that really makes it simple so you can run Linux on the A9 and use that as your development environment for the M4.
That's kind of neat. So it's like your own little desktop computer to write code for the microcontroller side.
Exactly. The other thing is, just like the S-Kilo board, this one also includes a full development environment. The other great thing about both of these boards, Ian, is that they're affordable, which is really important, as you know, for startup companies.
Yeah, this really helps. This is the kind of board that lets them transition from startup to full production.
And again, these are just a couple of examples. There are so many other compelling solutions that we have here at FTF. So come talk to Ian on the IoT truck, and also visit the Tech Lab and the innovation space to get examples of many other solutions available.
Thank you, Sujata.
Great, thanks.
So on board the IoT tour, we really like startups. They've got so much innovation. I'm showing you another really interesting one, safety product called Mon Baby, and this is a small clip-on MEMS-based accelerometer. It clips onto the baby's clothing, and what it does is it tells you whether they're sleeping, whether they're active, whether they're laying on their front or breathing. Alerts are sent to the parent's cell phone via Bluetooth, and really can provide a lot of peace of mind to a new parent. So once your child is old enough to start crawling out of the crib and all over the house, now you have to worry about them sticking their fingers in light outlets and sockets. So this company called Brio Home makes a safe outlet. And what this does is it senses a valid electrical load before turning on. So we'll plug in a device, and it'll sense it and turn on. Now, every year, approximately 2,500 children are sent to hospital in the US alone, and for shock or burns caused by playing around with electrical outlets. So let's give this a try. I'm shove coat hangers and electrical outlets in my life, so I'm just going to stick my finger in here, and we'll see that it will not electrocute me. It won't just electrocute me. So I'm going to stick my finger in now, and there we go. Look at that. In addition to the safe outlet, Brio has a sensor monoxide detection and water leak detection in the home. Another exciting new startup here we just installed is Chewy, the intelligent doorbell. we have Chewy's, one of the co-founders of Chewy, Sean Moore, to talk to us a little bit more about it. Thanks for coming, Sean.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
And tell us a little bit more about Chewy and how it works.
Sure, so it's about the experience of entering the home. Your home's traditionally something that's very comfortable, very secure, and very personalized. In our technology with Chewy, we're trying to allow you an actionable entry point into your home, as well as being able to personalize it like you would a smartphone.
Okay, so how does it work?
Sure, so as you approach, we start to detect the face, and once the face is in the frame, then we'll run facial recognition, and different permissions can happen based on what you previously set.
Okay, so we enrolled myself earlier, so if I look at this, it should just detect me.
Yep, you see the blue light blinking, that means the face is detected, and now it'll start to run facial recognition, and because we pre-enrolled you, you'll see it blink green, meaning access has been granted.
And then that shows up on your phone, is that right?
Sorry, so as you can see here, I received a notification, and I've got you there saying that he is at my house. And the other way to enable this is by actually pressing the button, and that'll initiate an audio-video call where I can communicate to you live in real time.
Okay, let me try that. Okay, so this means it's doing a video call.
Exactly, so I've got the video call pulled up here now, and you can see there that it's essentially real time. And that's a way for you, if you have an unknown visitor coming over, you can now communicate to them live and tell them, hey, I'll be back, or go to the garage, go around back, anything like that. If you need communication, you now have it at your phone, essentially.
And that's very neat. That means I don't even have to be home in order to talk to a delivery man, for example.
Exactly. You can be anywhere in the world as long as you have service, and you can talk to that person on your front door.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what's inside Chewy?
Sure. So we started by prototyping with the Raspberry Pi, and we just weren't comfortable moving into production with it. So we went through some criteria, with multimedia requirements, and the final three were a very strong community, very, very reliable support, and then cost optimization. And the iMix 6 just fit perfectly into that. So we haven't turned back since. We've had a great experience with it.
All right. Well, at Freescale, we thank you for choosing Freescale and iMix 6. It's great. Now, can we buy this product today?
Yes, we've actually been pre-ordering the device since last year. You can order it on getchewy.com, and it sells for $199 on the site itself. We've sold just over 100,000 units, or sorry, $100,000 worth of units in over 30 countries. So our team is working endlessly now to get it into everyone's home.
Well, that's fantastic. We wish you the best of luck in your startup. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now for something completely different. NASA doesn't fit the profile of a startup company, but there's some exciting new technology that's being built today, and it's called a Doppler wind radar profiler. And this is used during launch of space vehicles or rockets to make sure we know the wind speed and direction throughout 0 to 60,000 feet. So this unit that exists today, they've got this large, high-power microwave antenna array running at 50 megahertz. It pumps thousands of watts of effective radiated power up into the atmosphere, and it measures the microparticles, the reflections off the microparticles in the atmosphere to tell what the wind speed is at different elevations. Now the problem is today, this instrument is vacuum tube technology, and it's not certified as a primary instrument. So this is where we come in. The new system that we're trying to get certified as a primary system uses Freescale RF LDMOS power amplifiers, similar to something like this. And that produces 250 kilowatts of 50 megahertz RF power, and it's able to then profile every 500 feet with readings coming back every 5 minutes. So the new system would replace the older vacuum tube technology with solid-state LDMOS power transistors. So you can see other RF products in the tech lab. In fact, we're showing functional versions of this prototype solid-state microwave oven. They're cooking meat and potatoes on the same plate, two different products, and heat up to the same temperature. One of the areas with the most opportunity is healthcare devices. And I've got David Nowolny here to talk a little bit more about the medical market, the medical device market. David, hi.
Thanks a lot, Ian. So I'm really excited to be back here at Freescale Technology Forum, specifically here in the IoT truck, where we have a lot of really great medical devices.
David, what can you tell us in terms of how the semiconductor industry can influence the future of medical or healthcare?
Well, it's pretty cool. Semiconductors are truly the building blocks of everything you see in this truck. I mean, they're the building blocks of the Internet of Things, the Internet of Tomorrow, and healthcare is no different. I think one of the areas semiconductors really can make an impact in healthcare is in the area of sensor technology. And Freescale just recently filed patents for a technology called ion-specific field effect transistors. And these ISFETs for short can be really modified with a ion-specific membrane to revolutionize the diagnostics market as we know it today. So a lot of the lab tests that we know today that take days, weeks, and a significant amount of cost can now be done on a single chip with a single drop of potentially any bodily fluid.
So we're talking about a medical lab on a chip.
Exactly, that's exactly what we're talking about, Ian. And I think there's a ton of opportunity in the sensor space. When you think about the opportunities of taking that sensor and then wirelessly connecting it, it's really everything that we're talking about today in the Internet of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure we're all looking forward to that sort of technology becoming a reality. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, David.
Thanks again, Ian. I appreciate the opportunity.
So here we are on the Internet of Tomorrow tour, and of course, it takes a huge effort to put something like this together. We've got a lot of business units that dedicate a lot of time. I would like to thank Ed Kreuter on my team for all the work he put into it. Please come and visit us. We're out front of the JW Marriott, and I'd like to send it back over to you, Greg.
Thanks a lot, Ian. And Ian is kind of the technical brains behind that IoT truck. He's been working on it pretty much 24/7. And I got to tell you, he called me up and said, Greg, I got this really cool idea. We'll do this video. You can stick your finger in this socket thing.